Welcome to Passive Aggressive Income. This program may contain strong language. The content may not be suitable for audiences under the age of 17. We understand many of our listeners may not agree with all of our personal viewpoints. We in no way, shape, or form mean to be offensive to anyone. Our show notes will provide all of our source material included for each episode. Now let's get passive aggressive.
Hello, welcome back to Passive Aggressive Income. I'm your host, Lexi, and with me is co-host Mims.
Hello.
So this week I'm super excited because Mims is going to be talking about one of her side hustles, passion projects, and I have been dying to learn more about it. So Mims, if you want to take it away, I'm super excited to hear how you have started this business and all the things that go into it.
Sure. So I'm going to be talking about resin jewelry and art today and how you can create passive income by designing your own resin jewelry and art. In 2020, I got bored. I think this was pandemic time and decided to dabble in resin creating. So I started up a little small side business called the Mavo Project, and that's just my initials. So nothing really special about that. The Mavo Project. It's on Instagram, Facebook, and Etsy. Plug, plug, plug.
We'll link the all the socials in the show notes.
Yes. So I really don't remember what made me specifically choose resin. I know there's a ton of different ways to make jewelry or art or anything. However, I did. And if anyone is interested in this type of art, then this episode is for you. So, what is resin? Let's talk about what resin art is and how the process goes. So, resin jewelry or art is made out of epoxy and a resin combination. What you need besides that is molds for you to pour that into, jewelry hardware, if that's the route that you're going, faux gold flakes to make it pop, resin powder for coloring that you just mix in. And I like to do dried flowers. A lot of people can order them or have ordered them online. I just go outside and I pick them. Or if I'm looking for something specific, I go to a flower shop and I see if they have anything that they have available. And you definitely need measuring cups. Reusable gloves is a must because you don't want to get those chemicals on your hands. And then you end up touching other things. And then the way that it dries on you, it's really hard to get off. So please wear gloves if you're going to attempt to do this. And anything else that really helps with making your jewelry or your art really stand out from the crowd. If you go on Instagram or go on YouTube, you can see what people are doing. And if you want to stand out, maybe look for different things that you can put into your jewelry so that they're not just kind of basic or they're not just kind of like what everybody else is selling. So the curing of the epoxy and the resin takes about 24 hours to process. But the one troublesome part of making resin is the damn bubbles. I hate them. If you don't invest in a heat gun or you don't have the patience to really like shake it out or do what you got to do with that, it just really, you have a bad batch at the end of the day. And then all that time that you spend, with the combination and pouring and maybe picking flowers, all that is just garbage. And I've had a lot of batches where it was like I got maybe one or two of them look good and then the rest I just threw out. So very sad, but it happens, especially when you're learning. I also suggest having a rack or a rod of some sort in the corner of a cold area in your house, your garage, your basement, so that you can dry out some flowers. I just have a piece of driftwood that I hang and have my flowers hanging from them. And it's a really good way to display and preserve. So I suggest to you do that if you want to do the dried flowers route. And then I have one of the old-fashioned flower pressers. It's just basically like, it looks like a book and each, it has like a really thin paper and then it has like a divider and then it has like multiples of that. So you press the flowers in and then they flatten out for you. They keep the color And if you want it to be flat to the mold, that's the way to do it. I like when they have when you can still keep the shape from it. So that's why I hang a lot of mine. And it still keeps the color really nicely as well. But either one, it works for different types of molds, different types of projects. So there's no right or wrong. It's just your preference and what you're doing.
Mims, as I'm hearing you talk about this, we need to collaborate because
Yes.
with my knowledge on like native plants and like obviously I'm covered in plant tattoos
Yes.
and just like the art and then like taking photos of the process that you can use on the Mavo project and of like the finished products. Like the wheels are turning for me, and so it sucks because it's the end of summer, but like next spring, next summer, we should collaborate and we should do this.
I would be so happy to do that. So yes, yes, yes. And I actually have, for the people that are watching, our watchers on YouTube, I have one of these don't have any flowers in them. This is the powder that you put in to make the color. And then I chose one of these backs, and then I have my own little Mavo Project stickers just to make sure that I'm representing my brand.
Branding is super important. I love it. Those are super cute. And I'm sure at some point we will also have a whole episode talking about branding because that's one of the things that I've done with my business. And so I'm super excited to see your own labels on your jewelry. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. So when I started the Mavo project, I was only making resin earrings. The earrings were really basic, not that cute. I got to be honest with myself, be real. But then I started watching videos and I upgraded my materials, and I thought about myself when I wear jewelry, and I thought to myself, well, I have really sensitive skin and sensitive ears. So I chose to go the hypoallergenic route. So if you are looking to do jewelry, it's always a plus whenever you're able to check that hypoallergenic check mark off when you are advertising or whatever you're doing, just because a lot of sensitive girls or guys, whatever people, we need that. And it's otherwise you feel itchy, then we don't feel cute. So just make sure that you are advertising and making things for everybody.
Yeah, I love that because I don't even buy jewelry that doesn't explicitly say like hypoallergenic because I am not going to wear them. I'll maybe wear them once, I'll be miserable, and then that's going to be it. So that makes me really happy to hear.
Yes. Yeah. Target everybody is my philosophy. So I got better molds and I picked more flowers along with ordering different colors for the resin. And after getting better, I reached out to different coffee shops in my area to see if anybody was interested in having them in the store for them to sell. And a coffee shop in Kakana actually bought a handful of my earrings and sold them outright, which was super exciting to me, especially because I think it was maybe like 6 or 7 months in, and then I got a buyer. So that was really cool. Just take notice of people that, or places where you go, that are selling handmade, local artists. And, the worst that they can say is no. And I've gotten a lot of no's. So if that's going to stop you from life, then you're never going to get anywhere. So my advice to you is reach out. You never know what people are thinking that day. And then that can land you a spot in their shop or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, that's super exciting. Being able to take a hobby where it's just something you do for fun to actually making money off of it is such a huge step. And I so admire you like going in face to face, talking with people and pitching yourself because that's really scary to do.
It was, but I was like super determined at that point to like push out my jewelry, even though I like was fresh out the gate. So yeah, I was like, I'm doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I relate to that so much with photography. I was maybe a year and a couple of months into having picked up a camera for the first time ever to like starting my business and doing full time with photography. And you definitely get a little bit of the imposter syndrome, but just being able to push through that and know that you have a good product that other people are interested in, like use that as motivation to like push you through.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I started saying in the beginning, I started just making jewelry, just making earrings. But then I got hired to do a few shadow boxes for friends for their wedding bouquets. And for one of my friends, I ended up with extra flowers. So I made her earrings so that she could wear her wedding bouquet every single day if she wanted to.
That's
And
so
they turned
cute.
out super pretty. I love them to this day. And I'm gonna have them in our posts on Instagram and Facebook. And then we're gonna have them in the YouTube.
Yeah, if you're watching the YouTube video, it'll be on the screen.
Yeah. So I love making the shadow boxes, especially when it's something that means a lot to people. Like I made a shadow box for my deceased dog and I just put a whole bunch of flowers in there. Her pictures are everywhere and I walk by it every day. So I know how much that means to me. And just the fact that I got to do that for a few of my good friends was a lot of fun for me. So that was a lot of fun. I have also signed up for a few art events in which I got a booth and was able to sell some earrings. So then I made, you have to make it really pretty. You have to make it like approachable. I have one of these where you can just, scan it and then it populates how to pay. So these are really awesome for you to have just so that you have your pricing. And I always love the whole scan, especially when people are always on their phone. Venmo is the way that people pay usually nowadays. So if you're able to do the Venmo route, it's really easy.
Yeah, it's super easy to set up a QR code just and print it off and putting in your branding, and having something like that just makes the whole process a lot easier. So
For sure.
people aren't having to fumble with cash, and you don't have to go and get like a card reader. Just keep it simple. And if it's simple, then people are going to buy it because it's less of a hassle to actually make the purchase.
Yes, exactly. And that was what I was thinking too. So, and I've seen a lot of people at these events having that type of, they had everything, honestly. And when I went there, I was super overwhelmed on how beautifully decorated their booths were. And I'm just like, damn, like I gotta step it up because, and I brought some cutesy things, but there is people that had like a whole canopy and like had
Wow.
mute music and had like refreshments. And I'm like, you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, it's cool to be able to see what other people are doing and like take that and learn from it and implement it with yourself, which is, yeah, that's super fun.
Right. And, going to events isn't really passive because you got to be there unless you're having somebody sit there for you. But you go and you sit there for half a day or for a full day and you have to be present and, take sales and, talk to people. So that's not really the passive way to go about it. I didn't quite enjoy the events just because I just felt strapped down to where I was for all day. And I'm really not a stationary person. So for me, it wasn't my cup of tea. But for other people, it's a really great way to get yourself out there, go and look at other people and what they're making, make new collabs, make new friends in that artsy world. And I met a lot of cool people. So there's really pros and cons to this way of marketing yourself and this way of putting yourself out there. And if you have beautiful model friends, like me, I have a model friend that her name is Chelsea, who owns her own small business called House of Chel. She was an immense help for the Mavo Project. She wore my earrings in a beautiful photo shoot and turned out great. Like I said, I'm going to have pictures of her in the earrings all over our socials and on YouTube. And I'm going to have her House of Chel website link in our show notes as well. She's amazing. And I also have an amazing hairstylist who has allowed me to display my earrings in her salon, which is super awesome. If you need an amazing hairstylist, check out Signature Beauty by Katie Weyenberg. She's located in Menasha, Wisconsin. She is relatively booked, but she is totally worth it. She is amazing, like I said before. But the most passive way to earn income from resin artwork or any type of art really is to list it on a website like Etsy or creating your own. So if you get enough traction on your website, then the sales will allow you to earn money on the side. So without even thinking about it, you'll have your website up, you'll have your inventory wherever you have your inventory, and then you'll see that you made a sale, boom, you go to the post office or whatever you do and you ship it out and you just made your money. So currently, I have taken a break on resin art because of all the projects that I have going on. I have talked about how many things I have been working on this podcast before. So it's really a matter of time, I guess. However, I am always interested in encasing things that mean something special to someone, like a wedding bouquet, a prom corsage, or like a small trinket. I had somebody reach out to me asking me to encase their, I think it was their dog or their cat's like fur so that they could have it forever. And I thought that was really cute, something I would do as well. And I'm always interested in doing things like that because to me, they mean so much and I have so much fun doing it. And when I get to see that person's face just light up because they have something that means so much to them and they can wear it or they can put it on their shelf, it's just so awesome. So that's what I'm going to look forward to doing. And, like you and I talked about, Lexi, I will always collab with anybody. So if anybody does want to collab, I would be more than happy to do that. I'm just going to end by stating that I will have Signature Beauty by Katie Weyenberg and House of Chel information in the show notes for anyone interested in a talented hairstylist or trendy outfits. For my resin artwork and jewelry, I'm going to have mine, the Mavo Project, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, all in the show notes as well. And yeah, pretty much wraps it up for what I got going on for resin, jewelry, and art.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And I have been following the Mavo Project page for a while, and I just love all the things that you create.
Thank you.
I'm sort of in the same boat where I have a side hustle called Root at Prints, where I sell photos, prints of my photos, and I've been on quite a long break for that too. So it makes me feel better talking to you, being on a break, but still having like this as something that you want to pursue in the future. Because I'm also a very busy person, and now especially starting school. Recently, I am not taking on any more responsibilities for the time being because I have been a bit overwhelmed. But yeah, so I have my side hustle photography page, and it's encouraging to see you have your thing going on and knowing that you can always take a step back and work on that. And I think that's good advice for all of our listeners who maybe have side hustles and then like life happens and things get really crazy and you need to just kind of like take a step away. That's okay, but know that like those outlets are still there, and it's like it's never too late to get back into a hobby or a side hustle. And once you put in the initial work of setting up your processes and creating all the things, and like it can sit there and hopefully run itself. And that's the passive part of passive income.
Exactly. Beautifully said. And adding on to that, it's just when you hit pause, that doesn't mean end. So you're always at a go, right? You're always doing things. You're always having to be somewhere, having to be present, but you can put pause on this thing, on that thing, on anything that you think that is going to make you overwhelmed. It's going to suck the life out of you, right? So I prioritize what I want to do right now. And then maybe one day I'm going to be inspired by something that I see on like a walk or whatever. And I'm not going to say, well, I don't do that anymore. I'm just going to say, okay, I can unpause. I'm going to take that on today. I'm going to really feel what I'm feeling. I'm really just going to throw myself into this, and then we'll see where that goes. And then if I have to pause again, I'll pause again, but there's no harm in doing that.
Yeah, I think it's healthy to take breaks, and that will prevent burnout and make sure that you're still passionate about the things that you're doing, because ultimately you started this because it was really fun and you were bored and you found a really fun hobby for yourself. And so you don't want to just burn yourself out because you have ambitious goals. So take the breaks you need and don't be afraid to get back into it.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like that's a really great place to end this. So check out our next episode next week. Lexi is going to cover retirement and saving and doing all the things for setting up for retirement. She's going to go into a whole bunch of things that you won't want to miss out on. So make sure that you check out next week's episode and check out our Instagram and our Facebook and our YouTube just to see what we all have going on and all of the things that we've been covering for each episode. You can see everything that we've talked about, all the images that we touch based on. So thank you so much for listening, you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Passive Aggressive Income was written, recorded, edited, and produced by co-hosts and creators Mims and Lexi. We truly want to thank our listeners, collaborators, friends, and family that continuously support us for all the love we receive. If you enjoy our show, please give us a glowing rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Also, follow us on Facebook and Instagram to see what we are up to. For any inquiries, please email passiveaggressiveincome2023@gmail.com. Episodes of Passive Aggressive Income are available wherever you listen to podcasts, so make sure to subscribe and like us on your favorite streaming platform.